Every morning, Bob meticulously curated her appearance, ensuring that every detail, from her choice of clothing to her hairstyle, adhered to society's expectations of masculinity. It was a delicate dance she performed, skillfully concealing her true identity as a girl, while desperately longing for the freedom to express herself authentically. As Bob got dressed, she couldn't help but feel a pang of sadness. The clothes she wore felt like a disguise, a costume she put on to navigate a world that didn't fully accept her. The mirror in her bedroom reflected an image that didn't align with her innermost desires, and it served as a constant reminder of the internal struggles she faced. But Bob was determined to find strength within herself. She refused to let society's rigid gender norms dictate her happiness. Deep down, she knew that she deserved to live as her true self, to embrace her femininity without fear or shame. She longed for a world where gender was seen as a spectrum, where individuals were celebrated for their uniqueness rather than confined to narrow boxes. In the confines of her room, Bob allowed herself moments of vulnerability. She would take out her secret stash of feminine clothing and accessories, carefully hidden away from prying eyes. Running her fingers over the delicate fabrics, she would imagine a life where she could freely express her identity, where she could wear what made her feel beautiful and whole. Bob's journey of self-discovery extended beyond her appearance. She sought solace in online communities, connecting with others who shared similar experiences and understood her struggles. Through these connections, she found a sense of belonging and validation, knowing that she wasn't alone in her journey. Her bedroom became a sanctuary, a space where she could shed the weight of societal expectations and explore her true self. Within those four walls, she experimented with makeup, carefully applying foundation, mascara, and lipstick. Each stroke of the brush felt liberating, as if she were painting a masterpiece, revealing the vibrant colors that had long been suppressed. But as the door of her room swung open, Bob's true self retreated into the shadows once again. She stepped out into the world, wearing her carefully crafted facade. The mask of masculinity was firmly in place, shielding her from the prying eyes and judgmental whispers that awaited her beyond the safety of her room. Throughout the day, Bob navigated a world that constantly reminded her of the limitations imposed upon her. She encountered subtle comments and expectations that chipped away at her spirit, but she refused to let them extinguish her inner light. Deep within, her true identity burned brightly, an untamed flame yearning to break free. As time passed, Bob's determination grew stronger. She became an advocate for transgender rights, using her voice to raise awareness and promote acceptance. Through public speaking engagements and social media campaigns, she shared her story, hoping to inspire others to embrace their true selves and challenge societal norms. Bob's journey was not without its obstacles. She faced adversity and rejection, but she refused to let setbacks define her. She surrounded herself with a supportive network of friends and allies who uplifted her during the darkest moments. Together, they built a community that celebrated diversity and championed the rights of all individuals, regardless of gender identity. In her pursuit of authenticity, Bob underwent a transformative journey. She sought professional help and began the process of transitioning, aligning her physical appearance with her true self. Hormone therapy and gender-affirming surgeries became part of her path towards self-discovery, each step bringing her closer to the woman she had always known herself to be. Throughout the process, Bob encountered moments of joy and triumph. Seeing her reflection in the mirror, now a reflection of her true self, brought tears of happiness to her eyes. She reveled in the feeling of finally being seen and accepted, not only by herself but by those who loved and supported her unconditionally. As the years passed, Bob's courage and resilience touched the lives of many. Her journey became a source of inspiration for countless individuals struggling with their own identities. She became a beacon of hope, a symbol of the power of self-acceptance and the importance of living authentically. Bob's alarm clock still buzzed every morning, but now it served as a reminder of the incredible journey she had undertaken. No longer bound by the constraints of society's expectations, she greeted each new day with a renewed sense of purpose and gratitude. Bob had found her voice, and she was determined to use it to create a world where everyone could embrace their true selves, unapologetically and without fear. Through the bustling high school hallway, her heart raced with a mix of anticipation and anxiety. She felt like a small fish lost in a vast ocean, surrounded by a sea of students who seemed so confident and sure of themselves. The noise of conversations filled the air, but to Bob, they were distant echoes that only served to deepen her sense of isolation. With each step, Bob couldn't help but notice the effortless interactions and connections that seemed to come naturally to her peers. It was as if they effortlessly fit into the mold that society had created for them, while Bob struggled to find her place within it. She longed to be seen and accepted for who she truly was, but the fear of rejection and judgment held her back. As she entered the classroom, Bob found herself grappling with a storm of conflicting emotions. The walls seemed to close in around her, and the air felt heavy with the weight of societal expectations. The lessons being taught became a blur, mere background noise to the thoughts that consumed her mind. Her gaze wandered to the window, where the sun bathed the world outside in golden light. In that moment, Bob's mind transported her to a world where she could freely express her gender identity, where societal norms were fluid and acceptance was the norm. She imagined herself walking confidently, wearing the clothes that felt true to her, with a smile that radiated the joy of living authentically. In an attempt to ground herself in the present moment, Bob reached for her notebook and a pen. The blank pages held the promise of solace and self-expression. She began to sketch, her hand moving with a fluidity that matched the vision in her mind. With each stroke, a vibrant image emerged, a girl with cascading hair, eyes shining with confidence, and a radiant smile that spoke of inner strength and authenticity. Through her art, Bob found a refuge, a sanctuary where her true self could come alive on paper. She poured her emotions onto the pages, using colors and lines to convey the depth of her yearning and the beauty of her true identity. The sketch became a symbol of her hidden desires and aspirations, a silent plea to be seen and accepted for who she truly was. As the classroom buzzed with the monotony of the lesson, Bob's mind was far away, immersed in a world of possibilities. She envisioned a society that celebrated individuality, where gender was not confined to a binary construct but embraced as a beautiful spectrum. In her imagined world, every person was given the freedom to express themselves authentically, without fear of judgment or rejection. Her sketch grew more elaborate, capturing not only her own desires but also the dreams of countless others who yearned for acceptance. The confident girl on the paper became a symbol of resilience, a reminder that within each person lay the power to break free from societal expectations and embrace their true selves. But as the bell rang, signaling the end of the class, Bob reluctantly closed her notebook, tucking it safely into her bag. The vibrant image she had created remained a secret, hidden away from the prying eyes of the world. She knew that the hallway awaited her, with its sea of students who might not understand or accept her truth. Yet, even in the face of uncertainty and the pang of isolation, Bob held on to a flicker of hope. She knew that change was possible, that acceptance could be fostered through education and understanding. And though her sketch remained hidden, its essence lingered within her, fueling her determination to create a world where every person could freely express their gender identity. The lunch bell echoed through the crowded hallways, signaling a brief respite from the academic rigor of the day. As Bob stepped into the bustling lunchroom, she couldn't help but feel a mix of apprehension and longing. It was a battleground of social interaction, where the dynamics of acceptance and rejection played out in subtle gestures and whispered conversations. Bob's eyes scanned the room, taking in the chaotic scene before her. Tables were filled with students, engaged in lively conversations, their laughter and camaraderie intertwining like an intricate tapestry of connection. It was a sight that both intrigued and pained her, a reminder of the connections she yearned for but found so elusive. Her footsteps faltered as she made her way through the sea of tables, her heart sinking with each passing moment. She had grown accustomed to the familiar routine of finding a secluded corner, where she could quietly observe her classmates, all the while feeling like an outsider yearning to be a part of the vibrant tapestry of social interaction. Bob's eyes were drawn to a particular group of students, their laughter and animated gestures capturing her attention. Among them, Mia stood out like a ray of sunlight breaking through the clouds. Mia exuded an aura of kindness and open-mindedness that seemed to radiate from her very being. She effortlessly moved through the lunchroom, engaging with different groups of friends, her interactions filled with warmth and genuine interest. Seeing Mia's ease with social connections stirred something deep within Bob. It was as if Mia held the key to a world where acceptance and belonging were not distant dreams but tangible realities. Mia's presence made Bob's heart ache with a longing for the acceptance and connection she so desperately desired. As days turned into weeks and weeks into months, Bob found herself drawn to Mia's orbit, observing her from a distance. Mia's kindness extended beyond her immediate circle of friends, reaching out to classmates who were often overlooked or marginalized. Bob couldn't help but admire her ability to see the invisible, to bridge gaps and forge connections where others saw only divisions. In the quiet moments, when Bob retreated to the solace of her bedroom, she would often find herself daydreaming about what it would be like to have Mia's friendship. She imagined moments of laughter and shared secrets, of late-night conversations and inside jokes. These daydreams offered her a glimpse of a world where acceptance and belonging were not mere fantasies but tangible realities. One fateful day, as Bob found herself once again observing from the sidelines of the lunchroom, Mia's eyes met hers. In that moment, time seemed to stand still. Bob's heart raced with a mix of anticipation and fear, unsure of what this newfound connection could mean. To her surprise, Mia smiled, a genuine smile that reached her eyes. In that simple gesture, Bob felt a surge of hope. It was as if Mia could see beyond the surface, beyond the mask of masculinity that Bob had become so adept at wearing. In that smile, Bob sensed the possibility of acceptance, the potential for a friendship that transcended societal norms and embraced the truth of her identity. Over time, Mia's kindness extended beyond a simple smile. She made an effort to engage Bob in conversation, seeking to understand her experiences and perspectives. Their interactions began with small talk, but soon evolved into deeper conversations about life, dreams, and the struggles they both faced. In Mia, Bob found a confidant, a person with whom she could share her innermost thoughts and fears. Mia listened with empathy and without judgment, offering a safe space where Bob's true self could be fully seen and accepted. It was a friendship that provided solace and a sense of belonging, erasing the isolation that had weighed so heavily on Bob's shoulders. As their friendship blossomed, Mia introduced Bob to her circle of friends, a diverse group that embraced individuality and celebrated authenticity. It was a refreshing change from the cliques and superficiality that often dominated the high school landscape. Within this circle, Bob discovered a community that valued acceptance and nurtured personal growth. Together, Bob, Mia, and their newfound friends embarked on a journey of self-discovery and advocacy. They organized workshops and discussions within the school, shedding light on the importance of empathy, inclusivity, and acceptance. Their efforts touched the hearts of many, fostering a more compassionate and understanding environment for LGBTQ+ students. Through Mia's friendship, Bob learned that acceptance could be found not only in the grand gestures but also in the everyday acts of kindness and understanding. Their bond inspired others to question their own biases and prejudices, opening the door to greater acceptance and empathy within the school community. As Bob sat in the lunchroom, no longer alone but surrounded by friends who truly saw and accepted her, she couldn't help but reflect on the journey that had brought her to this moment. The battleground of social interaction had transformed into a place of warmth and acceptance, a testament to the power of genuine connections and the resilience of the human spirit. In Mia, Bob had found not only a friend but also a guiding light, a person who had taught her that true acceptance begins with oneself. Together, they had carved out a space where authenticity thrived and where the heartache of longing had been replaced by the joy of belonging. As the lunchroom buzzed with the chatter and laughter of students, Bob couldn't help but smile. Mia's presence had been a catalyst for change, a beacon of acceptance that had illuminated her path towards self-discovery. And as the lunch bell rang, signaling the end of the lunch break, Bob knew that the journey was far from over. United with Mia and their circle of friends, Bob would continue to navigate the complexities of high school life, armed with the unwavering belief that acceptance and genuine connections were not only possible but essential for personal growth and collective change. Together, they would challenge societal norms, break down barriers, and create a world where every individual could thrive in their truest form. In the vast tapestry of high school, where the battles of acceptance were fought on multiple fronts, Bob and Mia stood tall, their friendship serving as a testament to the power of kindness, empathy, and the indomitable spirit of those who dared to be true to themselves. As the final bell of the school day rang, Bob's heart leapt with anticipation. It was her escape from the confines of the bustling high school hallways, a respite from the whispers and judgment that often accompanied her every step. With her backpack slung over her shoulder, she walked briskly towards the nearby park, a sanctuary where she could find solace amidst the beauty of nature. The park welcomed her with open arms, its pathways winding through vibrant greenery and fragrant blossoms. The gentle rustling of leaves and the melodic chirping of birds provided a comforting soundtrack to her thoughts. Bob wandered aimlessly, her eyes searching for a secluded spot where she could be alone with her journal and her deepest emotions. She found a weathered wooden bench nestled beneath a towering oak tree, its branches outstretched as if offering shelter and understanding. Bob settled onto the bench, feeling a sense of calm envelop her as she gazed out at the tranquil surroundings. The soft breeze caressed her cheeks, carrying away the weight of the world and leaving her with a space to simply be. From the depths of her backpack, she retrieved her worn journal, the repository of her hopes, dreams, and frustrations. Its pages were filled with her innermost desires, penned in the late hours of the night when her bedroom became a sanctuary of whispered thoughts and hidden truths. With trembling hands, Bob opened the journal, the scent of ink and possibility filling the air. As her pen glided across the page, Bob poured her heart onto the paper. She chronicled the battles fought within her, the conflicting emotions that tugged at her soul. The yearning to be seen, accepted, and loved for who she truly was filled every line, every curve of her handwritten words. She painted a vivid picture of her inner world, hoping that one day, her true self would be unveiled to the world without fear or shame. The park became her confidant, the trees standing witness to her vulnerability and resilience. With each visit, Bob's connection with nature deepened, finding solace in the untamed beauty that surrounded her. The park became a mirror, reflecting her own journey of self-discovery and growth. In the embrace of nature's splendor, Bob found the courage to confront her fears and insecurities. The vibrant blossoms blooming in the spring reminded her of the beauty that lay within, waiting to be embraced. The sturdy oak tree became a symbol of strength, its unwavering presence a reminder that she, too, possessed an unyielding spirit. As the seasons passed, Bob's journal evolved into more than just a vessel for her thoughts and emotions. It became a manifesto of self-acceptance, a testament to her unwavering determination to live authentically. She filled its pages with sketches and musings, capturing the essence of her journey in strokes of ink and bursts of color. One day, as she sat on her familiar bench beneath the oak tree, a gentle voice broke the silence. Startled, Bob looked up to find an elderly woman with kind eyes and a warm smile. "May I join you?" the woman asked, gesturing to the vacant space beside Bob. Bob nodded, curiosity piqued. She had grown accustomed to her solitude in the park, but something about the woman's presence drew her in, a magnetic pull that sparked a yearning for connection. As they sat side by side, the woman introduced herself as Evelyn, a longtime resident of the neighborhood who found solace in the park's embrace, much like Bob. Their conversations flowed effortlessly, as if they had known each other for years. Evelyn spoke of her own struggles with societal expectations and the power of self-discovery. She shared stories of triumph and resilience, urging Bob to embrace her true self and face the world with courage. Through their encounters, Bob learned that the journey towards self-acceptance was not a solitary one. Evelyn became a mentor, guiding Bob with her wisdom and gentle encouragement. She shared resources, books, and support groups that could provide Bob with the tools she needed to navigate the complexities of her gender identity. In the park, Bob and Evelyn forged a bond, a connection that transcended generational gaps and societal norms. With each meeting, Bob's perspective expanded, and her sense of self deepened. She began to see her struggles as a source of strength and resilience, rather than a burden to be carried alone. As the seasons changed, so did Bob. The shy, introspective teenager blossomed into a confident young woman, unafraid to explore her identity and express herself authentically. She no longer hid behind the mask of masculinity but embraced her femininity with grace and pride. Her visits to the park became a ritual of self-reflection and renewal. The familiar bench beneath the oak tree held a special place in her heart, a reminder of the transformation she had undergone and the unwavering support she had found within herself and the natural world. With newfound confidence, Bob began to share her journey with others. She attended support groups, organized workshops, and became an advocate for LGBTQ+ rights within her community. Through her vulnerability and openness, she created spaces where others could find solace and support, just as she had found in the park. The ripple effect of Bob's bravery and authenticity extended far beyond the confines of her high school or the park. Her story inspired individuals of all ages and backgrounds to embrace their own truths and foster a more inclusive society. Her journal, once a private sanctuary, now became a powerful tool for storytelling and empowerment, documenting the journeys of countless individuals who found solace within its pages. As Bob continued to grow and evolve, she carried the spirit of the park within her, a reminder of the transformative power of nature and the importance of finding moments of solitude and self-reflection. The park had become a haven for her, a sacred space where she had discovered her true self and connected with kindred spirits. In the years that followed, the park witnessed countless transformations, as more individuals sought refuge within its embrace. Bob's story became intertwined with the very fabric of the park, inspiring generations to come to seek solace, understanding, and the courage to live authentically. And as Bob sat on her favorite bench, journal in hand, she marveled at the journey that had brought her to this moment, a testament to the power of vulnerability, the resilience of the human spirit, and the healing embrace of nature. With every stroke of her pen, she etched her story onto the pages of her journal, ensuring that her voice, and the voices of those who came after her, would echo through the park, resonating with hope and possibility for all who sought solace and self-discovery within its sanctuary. Returning home after a long day, Bob closed the front door behind her, savoring the sanctuary of her bedroom. It was here, within the walls of her private space, that she could finally let her guard down and release the weight of the world from her shoulders. A mixture of exhaustion and anticipation filled the air as she stood before the full-length mirror, her reflection a canvas upon which her true identity awaited expression. As Bob gazed into the mirror, her eyes welled up with tears. The reflection staring back at her was a constant reminder of the inner conflict she grappled with daily, the battle between her assigned gender and her authentic self. The pain of living in a world that refused to see and accept her for who she truly was had become unbearable, and now, in the solitude of her bedroom, it threatened to consume her. With trembling hands, Bob approached her closet, an assortment of clothes that had become a symphony of concealment. The racks held an array of button-down shirts, baggy jeans, and muted colors, carefully chosen to suppress her femininity. But within the depths of her closet lay a hidden box, a secret trove of garments and accessories that whispered of her true identity, a girl waiting to be acknowledged and embraced. She lifted the lid of the box, revealing a kaleidoscope of colors, fabrics, and styles that spoke to the depths of her soul. Delicate dresses, flowing skirts, and blouses adorned with lace and sequins beckoned to her, offering a glimpse of the woman she longed to become. The hidden box was a sanctuary within the sanctuary, a realm where her true self could emerge from the shadows and take its rightful place in the light. With a mix of trepidation and excitement, Bob gingerly sifted through the contents, her fingers grazing each fabric as if seeking reassurance. Each garment held the potential to unlock a new chapter of her journey, one that would bring her closer to self-acceptance and allow her to live authentically. The weight of the world on her shoulders gradually lifted as she selected an outfit that resonated with her deepest desires. As she began the transformation process, Bob's hands steadied, her movements guided by a mixture of intuition and a lifetime of suppressed knowledge. She skillfully applied makeup, accentuating her features and highlighting the aspects of her face that society had deemed masculine. With each brushstroke, she embraced the art of contouring and blending, allowing her true beauty to emerge from beneath the layers of expectation. Her reflection in the mirror gradually shifted, revealing a girl who had been hidden for far too long. Her hair, once styled in a way that conformed to societal norms, was now shaped and molded to reflect her inner femininity. She experimented with different hairstyles, discovering the transformative power of a simple change in appearance. As Bob admired her reflection, a sense of liberation washed over her. The weight that had burdened her heart for so many years began to lift, replaced by a surge of confidence and self-assurance. In this sacred space, she shed the mask of masculinity that had concealed her true self, embracing the freedom to express her gender identity with authenticity and pride. With every adjustment to her appearance, Bob reclaimed a piece of herself, a piece that had been stifled and silenced by the constraints of societal expectations. The mirror became a portal to self-discovery, a looking glass through which she could witness the unveiling of her true essence. The tears that once brimmed in her eyes were replaced by a sense of purpose and determination. Though the world outside her bedroom door remained unaware of her journey, within the confines of her private sanctuary, Bob could finally breathe. She was no longer defined by the limitations society had imposed upon her. Instead, she embraced her own definition of womanhood, one that celebrated diversity, authenticity, and the resilience of the human spirit. As Bob admired her reflection one last time, she felt a surge of gratitude for the hidden box in her closet, a treasure trove that held the key to her freedom and self-expression. It was a symbol of her resilience, a testament to her unwavering commitment to live life on her own terms. With a deep breath and a renewed sense of purpose, Bob unlocked her bedroom door, ready to face the world as her authentic self. The journey ahead would be filled with challenges and obstacles, but armed with self-acceptance and the knowledge that she was not alone, Bob was ready to embrace her true identity and live a life of authenticity and fulfillment. And as she stepped out into the world, a beacon of hope and courage, she carried the hidden box within her heart, a reminder of the transformative power of embracing one's true self and the limitless potential that awaits when we shed the masks we wear for others and embrace the beauty of our own truth. The following morning, a sense of anticipation filled the air as Bob prepared to embark on a monumental step in her journey towards self-acceptance. Dressed authentically as herself, she meticulously chose an outfit that reflected her true identity, a vibrant dress that shimmered with hues of purple and pink, embracing her femininity with pride. Each movement, each choice of clothing, was an affirmation of her right to be seen and accepted for who she truly was. As Bob made her way to the park, the sun's warm rays gently caressed her face, as if nature itself celebrated her newfound freedom. The wind whispered words of encouragement, carrying the scent of blooming flowers that adorned the park, adding to the beauty and symbolism of the moment. With each step, her heart beat with a mixture of nervousness and excitement, fueling her determination to embrace her true self. Arriving at the park, Bob was met with a scene of tranquility. The soft rustling of leaves, the chirping of birds, and the distant sound of laughter from nearby families created an atmosphere of serenity. It was as if the park itself had become a sanctuary, a place where Bob could shed the weight of her secret and find solace in the embrace of acceptance. Taking a deep breath, Bob moved forward with unwavering resolve. She had come to realize that living authentically meant being seen, not just by herself, but by others as well. And there, in the heart of the park, amidst the backdrop of nature's beauty, she would take her first steps towards sharing her truth. As she approached the high school gates, Bob's heart fluttered in her chest. Thoughts raced through her mind, questioning how her peers would react, fearing the possibility of rejection or ridicule. But she knew deep within her soul that the time had come to unveil her true identity, to shed the burden of secrecy that had weighed her down for far too long. And then, like a beacon of hope, she saw Mia, a familiar face in the crowd. Mia's kind eyes met Bob's gaze, filled with an openness and understanding that transcended the boundaries of societal expectations. In that moment, Bob felt a surge of courage and connection, as if Mia's presence alone was a validation of her worthiness to be seen and accepted. With each step that brought her closer to Mia, Bob's confidence grew. The radiant smile that graced her lips mirrored the joy and liberation she felt inside. She knew that Mia, with her friendly and open-minded demeanor, was someone she could trust, someone who would listen and offer support in her journey towards self-acceptance. As Bob and Mia finally stood face to face, the world around them seemed to fade into the background. Bob took a deep breath, her voice steady yet filled with vulnerability, as she found the words to share her secret, her true identity. With each syllable that left her lips, a weight lifted from her shoulders, and she felt the power of authenticity coursing through her veins. Mia's eyes widened with surprise, but quickly softened with empathy and understanding. In that moment, she became a pillar of support, a beacon of acceptance that reaffirmed Bob's courage to be her true self. With a smile that conveyed compassion and love, Mia embraced Bob, a gesture that spoke volumes, words unnecessary in the face of genuine connection. In the midst of the park, surrounded by the beauty of nature, Bob's unveiling became a symbol of hope and possibility. Other students, initially curious and then touched by the authenticity and vulnerability they witnessed, began to gather around. In the presence of this newfound community, Bob's heart swelled with gratitude, knowing that she was not alone in her journey. The park became a catalyst for change, a place where stories were shared, perspectives were broadened, and acceptance blossomed. Bob's act of courage rippled through the crowd, inspiring others to embrace their own truths, to defy societal expectations, and to celebrate the beautiful mosaic of human identity. From that day forward, Bob's presence in the high school hallways became a symbol of resilience, authenticity, and unwavering self-acceptance. She no longer walked alone, but with a tribe of kindred spirits who, like her, had found the strength to break free from the shackles of conformity. Together, they challenged the status quo, fostering an environment where individuality was celebrated, where everyone felt seen, heard, and accepted for who they truly were. The high school transformed into a sanctuary of inclusivity, with Bob and Mia leading the way, forging a path towards a brighter and more compassionate future. As the days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, the impact of Bob's journey continued to reverberate throughout the school and beyond. Support groups were formed, resources were made available, and conversations about gender identity and acceptance became commonplace. Bob's transformation sparked a cultural shift, a realization that every person deserved the freedom to express their true selves without fear or judgment. It was a testament to the power of vulnerability, authenticity, and the ripple effect of one person's courage to create change. And so, as the sun set on that transformative day in the park, a new chapter in Bob's life began. She had embarked on a journey of self-discovery, acceptance, and unyielding love, a journey that would continue to unfold, not only for herself but for the countless lives she touched along the way, and in her heart, she knew that her authentic self, once concealed, would now shine brightly, illuminating a path of hope and acceptance for others to follow. With a trembling voice, Bob began to speak, her vulnerability laid bare before Mia. The words lingered on her tongue, both daunting and liberating, as she prepared to reveal her truth. Each syllable held the weight of 1,000 emotions, the culmination of years spent concealing her true identity. As the silence stretched between them, Bob's heart pounded in her chest, her mind filled with a torrent of thoughts and fears. Mia's kind eyes remained fixed on Bob, her gaze filled with compassion and understanding. She sensed the significance of this moment, recognizing the courage it took for Bob to share such a deeply personal aspect of herself. With each passing second, the air became thick with anticipation, the weight of Bob's secret hanging in the balance. Finally, Bob found the strength to speak. Her voice quivered, revealing the depth of her vulnerability. She chose her words carefully, seeking to convey the intricacies of her journey, the conflict between her assigned gender and her true identity as a girl. As the words spilled forth, they carried with them the weight of a lifetime of self-discovery, struggles, and aspirations. With each sentence, Bob revealed fragments of her past, a past overshadowed by the expectation of conformity, a constant battle against societal norms. She spoke of the loneliness she experienced, the sense of isolation that followed her like a shadow. She described the whirlwind of emotions that swept through her, the unrelenting conflict within her heart. Her voice wavered, but she pressed on, determined to lay bare her truth. Mia listened attentively, her eyes never leaving Bob's face. She understood the significance of this moment, the trust Bob had placed in her. As the words spilled forth, Mia's heart swelled with admiration for the strength and resilience that emanated from Bob's vulnerable confession. She offered a safe space, a sanctuary of acceptance and understanding, where Bob could express herself fully without fear of judgment. In the midst of this exchange, a profound connection was forged, a bond woven with threads of empathy, compassion, and shared humanity. As Mia absorbed Bob's words, she recognized the courage it took for Bob to unveil her true identity. She witnessed the vulnerability, the rawness of Bob's emotions, and in doing so, Mia became a beacon of support, a guiding light in the darkness, illuminating a path toward self-acceptance. Through Mia's unwavering presence, Bob began to feel the weight of acceptance lift from her shoulders. She realized that she no longer had to bear the burden of her secret alone. In Mia, she had found an ally, a friend who embraced her for who she truly was, unconditionally. With each passing moment, the realization settled within Bob, growing stronger with each beat of her heart. Unveiling her true identity was not a solitary journey, but one that could be shared with those who celebrated her authenticity. As Bob concluded her confession, a moment of stillness enveloped them. The weight of their shared experience hung in the air, a tangible reminder of the power of vulnerability and connection. And in that moment, Mia's eyes welled with tears, tears of empathy, tears of recognition, tears that mirrored the liberation Bob felt deep within her soul. Without a word, Mia extended her arms, opening them wide in a gesture of embrace. Bob's hesitation dissolved as she stepped forward, allowing Mia's warmth and acceptance to envelop her. They held each other in a tender embrace, a silent affirmation of trust, understanding, and the beauty of their shared journey. In that exchange, Bob realized that the path to self-acceptance was not a linear one. It was filled with ups and downs, moments of uncertainty, and triumphs of authenticity. But she knew she was not alone. She had Mia by her side, a pillar of strength, compassion, and unwavering support. From that moment forward, Bob and Mia embarked on a journey together, a journey of self-discovery, growth, and celebration. They became each other's confidants, allies in the face of adversity, and advocates for a more inclusive and accepting world. In their friendship, they found solace, inspiration, and the courage to amplify their voices, sharing their stories with others who were navigating their own paths of self-discovery. The ripple effect of Bob's vulnerability and Mia's acceptance expanded beyond their personal connection. As they navigated the halls of their high school, their presence became a catalyst for change, a testament to the power of embracing one's true self, regardless of societal expectations. Others witnessed the strength and resilience in their bond, and it sparked conversations, challenged biases, and fostered a culture of acceptance and understanding. Bob's journey, once shrouded in secrecy and isolation, began to intertwine with the journeys of those around her. Support groups were formed, providing safe spaces for students to share their stories, their fears, and their triumphs. Awareness campaigns were launched, promoting inclusivity and dismantling harmful stereotypes. The school administration implemented policies to protect the rights of transgender and gender nonconforming students, fostering an environment where every individual felt seen, heard, and valued. Bob's unveiling became a catalyst for change, a transformative moment not only for herself but for the entire school community. She became a beacon of hope, a symbol of resilience, and an advocate for authentic self-expression. The high school transformed into a haven of acceptance, where diversity was celebrated and all students were empowered to embrace their true identities. In the years that followed, Bob's story continued to inspire countless others. Her journey, once confined to the halls of her high school, resonated far beyond its walls. Through public speaking engagements, interviews, and online platforms, Bob shared her experiences, offering hope and support to individuals who faced similar struggles. She became an advocate for transgender rights, working tirelessly to promote understanding, education, and acceptance on a broader scale. With each step forward, Bob realized that her voice mattered, that her vulnerability had the power to change hearts and minds. She channeled her experiences into activism, striving to create a world where no one would feel the need to hide their true selves, where every person could walk through life with authenticity and pride. And as Bob reflected on her journey, the pain, the triumphs, the connections forged, she understood that her story was not just about herself. It was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, the power of vulnerability, and the unyielding strength that comes from embracing one's true identity. Her journey had become a source of inspiration for countless others, a reminder that in the face of adversity, there is always hope, always a possibility of a brighter, more inclusive future. And so, with hearts filled with gratitude and determination, Bob and Mia stood side by side, their voices united in a resounding chorus of acceptance and love. Together, they continue to shape a world where everyone could be seen, celebrated, and embraced for who they truly were, a world where authenticity reigned, and the journey of self-discovery was met with unwavering support.